So basically, what happened today was that my surgeon called me. Well, basically, no, I called my surgeon first to ask him if actually there's any negotiation room for the movement of my jaw, as in maybe I could have chose like, oh, Gillian, you could have chose more upper jaw to be showing or less upper jaw to be showing. And to me, if there is such a thing as a layman preference within the room of professional judgment, then I'd like to weigh in on that. And I think that call scared my surgeon a bit. And he called me and said, actually, Gillian, I can feel that you're really, really, really just scared about the results. And, you want a certain amount of precision that I can't give. So I'd like to recommend you to another surgeon. And this is 2 days before my surgery, because my surgery is on the 25th. And I told him that actually, I just want the assurance from you that whatever you could have given me is purely up to your professional judgment, and you didn't discount on your professional judgment based on my layman fear of a nasal flare. And also, I want you to assure me that whatever I have said about how I want to look like, I wouldn't have much say in the movement in terms of how you rotate my jaw and how many millimeters you're going to give me, because that's up to your professional judgment. And you only have one way to move the jaw, and there isn't such a thing as the availability of preferences on my part in terms of aesthetics. And he said, yeah, actually, you don't have a say in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's all I wanted to hear. I didn't call you to show an exceptionally high standard of expectation of what I want to look like, because I don't have an ideal image in mind. I set out on the surgery simply wanting to correct the underbite. I'm not a girl who goes around looking at movie stars thinking I want to look like them, because I'm a really pragmatic person. I don't scrutinize my face looking for flaws and try and correct them one by one, because I think it's endless and it's really subjective. And he said, okay, I can finally see your point of view, but I'd still like you to see the other surgeon, because he has an extra specialty of being able to control the nasal flare in conjunction with doing the jaw surgery. And that might be something that'll allay your fear and satisfy your needs better than I do. And I'm like, if you're telling me this, objectively thinking that he's a better person than you are, then I entertain the possibility of changing surgeons. But if you're telling me this simply because you're scared that what you can produce is subjectively ugly as compared to him, I don't think I'd like to change surgeons to entertain subjectivity. And he said, okay, I get your point. So basically he's going to call me again tomorrow just to make sure that everything's fine. But yeah, my surgeon's nervous about my case. But I think I reassured him that I don't have an expectation of how I'm going to look like, because I don't know how I'm going to look like in the end. And whichever surgeon I go with, there's only one outcome. I can't possibly imagine the other outcome and feel the regret. The only thing I'm trying to prevent and avoid is the potential regret that I could have said something and I didn't. And he said, nothing you could have said will change the procedure in terms of movement and the amount of millimeters moved. As long, and he reassured me on that point that he's a one-trick pony, and the moment he saw the measurements and stuff like that, there's already a certain amount of movement. And he didn't say it to me because it's a bit cruel to say it, but he told me really cruelly that honestly, nothing you said before and after the decision of how many millimeters I'm going to move have affected my professional judgment in terms of how many meters I'm going to move. I'm like, okay, as long as we've got that clear, I'm willing to go ahead with you. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna, yeah. But he's making me feel a bit like, like my surgeon's nervous about my surgery. But we'll see how it goes.